MT Channel Business Services.
Welcome, dear followers, to MT Channel. Today, we're diving deep into a really important topic, the workplace rights for women under Saudi labor law. This affects so many people and is a huge part of the modern workforce. Before we jump in, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that bell icon, give this a like, and share it with your friends. Okay, let's get into it.
So, let's start with the big question. What are the actual specific legal protections that working women have? You know, this isn't just about reading legal documents. It's about understanding the foundation of a fair and supportive work environment. So we're going to unpack the key articles that lay out all of these rights, one by one.
We've broken this down into 5 main areas to make it super clear. First, we'll cover rights during pregnancy and childbirth. Then, we'll look at the support for new moms coming back to work. After that, we'll get into general workplace protections, some special rules on leave, and finally, what to do if you need to navigate a labor court claim. Let's dive right into our first section.
All right, first up, rights during pregnancy and childbirth. This is such a critical area where the law provides a really specific set of entitlements. These are all designed to support a woman's health, well-being, and of course her financial security during this time.
The headline number here is 12 weeks. That's right. Article 151 of the Saudi labor law gives a working woman 12 weeks of fully paid maternity leave. That's a really significant amount of time to support the health of both the mother and the new baby. But it's not just about the length of time. It's also about how you can use it. And the way this leave is structured is so important. It's not just one big chunk of time. The law actually builds in a lot of flexibility. So a woman can choose to start her leave up to 4 weeks before her due date. But the 6 weeks right after the birth, those are mandatory. Then, the rest of the weeks can be used however she needs them, which gives her a ton of control.
But what happens if more time is needed? Well, the support doesn't just stop at 12 weeks. Article 151 also allows for extensions. An extra month of unpaid leave is an option for everyone. And in the really tough situation where a child is born with an illness or a disability, the mother gets another month of fully paid leave on top of everything else, plus the option for another month unpaid.
And beyond just leave, Article 153 puts a very direct responsibility on the employer. They have to provide for the medical care of female employees throughout the pregnancy and during childbirth. This is a really foundational protection that makes sure health and well-being are always the top priority. So what happens when a new mother is ready to return to work? The law doesn't just end with maternity leave. It actually outlines specific support systems to help make that transition back into professional life a lot smoother. A perfect example of this is in Article 154, which creates paid breaks for nursing. A new mom gets up to an extra hour of breaks each day to care for her newborn. And here's the crucial part. That time is counted as part of the workday. It means there's no salary deduction. It's a really practical support system that's built right into the law. Now, the law also gets into the huge issue of childcare, but it works on a 2-part rule. Article 159 comes into play when a company has 50 or more female employees, but that's only the first piece of the puzzle. The second piece is that those female employees need to have a combined total of 10 or more children under the age of 6. As soon as both of those conditions are met, the employer is legally required to provide a proper, staffed childcare space. For working moms, this can be an absolute game changer.
Okay, let's zoom out a little. Beyond just maternity-specific rights, the law has some really powerful general protections to make sure the work environment is safe and secure for all female employees.
This right here is probably one of the most powerful protections in the law. Article 155 is crystal clear. An employer cannot fire a woman while she is pregnant or on maternity leave. This protection also covers illnesses that come from their pregnancy or childbirth as long as the time off doesn't go over 180 days. This gives incredible job security at a time when it's needed most. And you know, some of the protections are beautifully simple but so important. Article 158 says that in any workplace, in any job, employers have to provide proper seating for their female employees to use for rest. It's just a basic, fundamental acknowledgement of physical well-being. Now let's look at a couple of other special types of leave. These rights also come with some specific responsibilities, which creates a kind of balance between what an employee is entitled to and their professional obligations.
Article 160 covers the provisions for paid bereavement leave if a female employee's husband passes away. The length of time is based on religious observance. It's 4 months and 10 days for a Muslim employee and 15 days for a non-Muslim employee. In both cases, the leave is fully paid.
And this is where that responsibility part kicks in. These leaves have conditions. Under Article 157, if a woman on maternity leave goes and works for another company during that time, she loses her leave pay from her original employer. The exact same rule applies to bereavement leave under Article 160.
Okay, but what happens when things don't go according to plan? Our last section is all about the legal side of things, what an employee needs to do if they feel their rights have been violated and they need to file a claim.
When it comes to filing a claim, you have to know that time is critical. Article 234 sets a very strict deadline. Any claim has to be filed within 12 months from when the employment relationship ended. That's a really important statute of limitations to keep in your back pocket.
The law also adds another layer of protection while a dispute is ongoing. Article 235 is basically an anti-retaliation rule. Once a legal case is started, an employer is not allowed to change the employee's terms of employment in any way that could hurt their position in the case.
So as we start to wrap this up, it really leaves us with a much bigger question to think about. When you see all of these protections laid out, from paid leave and childcare to job security, how do these kinds of comprehensive legal frameworks really shape the future of a country's workforce and its whole economy?
So let's do a quick recap of the biggest takeaways. We've seen a framework that gives significant and flexible paid maternity leave, plus really strong job protection during that time. The law also has very clear, specific rules for practical support, like childcare and breaks for new moms, and it's all backed up by a clear legal process if there's a dispute.
Thank you so much for watching. I really hope this breakdown was clear and helpful. If you found it valuable, please don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, like, and share it with anyone who you think could benefit from this information. We'll see you next time.